Hello, everyone. Welcome to our spotlight for Top 50 Voices of Influence, Women in Alignment. I'm here today with Lisa Marie Robinson. And yes, we are live. This is awesome. Beautiful. Had to double check, right?
You
Because you
always have
never
to
know.
yeah, you're right. Always have to double check.
So, yes, I'm excited to be here today with Lisa, who is one of our speakers, upcoming speakers in Top 50 Voices of Influence, Women in Alignment, which is a virtual event coming up from June 15th through the 19th, where we are inviting incredible women to come in and tune into like a mid-year realignment where you get to check in with yourself, where you get to see what areas of your life are feeling a little out of balance. And I'm bringing you incredible women who are going to support you in the areas of health, wealth, love, and personal power. So today we have Lisa, who brings in some incredible energy. And she's going to be talking to us the week of the event on the areas of wealth. But before I say anything else, I'm going to have Lisa just really take a moment to introduce yourself and tell the audience who you are and the work that you do.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. My name is Lisa Marie Robinson. I am the owner and founder of Transcendent Wealth Co. I'm known as the Sassy Wealth Queen. I am a fractional CFO, which is Chief Financial Officer, and a money mentor. So I work with women entrepreneurs who are making the money but they're not quite mastering it and multiplying it. They've got the money coming in, got that down pat, and I come in and I help them to where they're able to master it and multiply it so that they're doing it though aligned with their values and their goals. So I bring in holistic, I call them different wealth codes, which is spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and financial. And so that's what I do. I help them just take the money that they're making and create a system to where they're able to master and multiply it. And we get rid of those leaks that are so often that women entrepreneurs have.
Yeah, I love that. And I would love to hear what is it that got you into the work that you do?
We'll make it short. That's a long story. But short end, I've been there. When back in 2016, I was working for corporate, barely making ends meet. Um, at the time, I think I was like, I don't know, maybe I think it was $500 from qualifying for food stamps. Barely having to choose, what bill I was going to pay, what money was going to be upon, how I was going to put food on the table. Then I got let go from corporate and I was done. I was tired of the migraines. I was tired of the headaches. I was tired of barely making ends meet no matter what I did. And every time I tried to budget, which I love budgeting, but every time I tried to do that, it just didn't work because it was all cookie cutter. It wasn't taking things into consideration and it wasn't aligned with my values,
Mhm.
goals. Um, and so I had the mindset of if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to barely make ends meet, then I'm going to do it on my terms. I'm going to be home with my girls. My oldest is autistic, and so I was done. Um, got put on food stamps, had my last vehicle repossessed, and before that, I'd been through two foreclosures, a short sale, and a bankruptcy. So I tell you, I've been there, done that. I've been there, done that a couple of times,
Mhm.
and rebuilt my credit. And so I went from food stamps to taking my business to multi six figures in 3 years and not looked back. And in that first year, I grew so fast that I still found at the end of the year, how so many of us do, I was broke, right? I was like, wait a minute, where did all the money go? What? So that's where that mindset came in. And then also, okay, we need to look at how do we manage, how do we master so that we're managing the money better and we're able to multiply it. And that's where the system was created.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I would love to go a little bit deeper, more into your decision to be a part of Top 50 Voices of Influence. What was happening in your life and business when you saw this opportunity, and what made you say yes?
Well, my business was doing some shedding, almost start like in some ways I felt like starting over. And I'm like 10 year, I've just entered into the 10th year and I'm like, you know how it is when you feel like you're starting over and you're making some pivots
Mhm.
and that can be scary. And in the process, I was realizing, okay, if we're doing this, I need to be in different rooms. The rooms I was in was no longer working because
Mhm.
I'm shedding the old and I'm elevating, and the business is going to be taken to new heights, doing more, making more impact. And when you posted it out there, I felt called. I've been following you. I've been in your, your Facebook group and seeing all the things that you're doing. And being in this type of room is like, okay, this, I can make more impact, right? And uh, the top 50 voice of the areas that you're doing, you're including wealth and health, and that's part of my wealth codes, and so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this, I like this, and I love the fact that it's mid-year,
Yes.
because it's like, sometimes we get sidetracked when it comes to that mid-year, and this is a good way to say, okay, let's realign and let's get back aligned, with our own values and our goals.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that because um well, for several reasons. One, I appreciate you saying, it's like sometimes we're in a period of shedding. And I have felt that myself, right? I have felt that. And this event is one of those where it's like, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be incredible. We're going to bring in women who are, or we have women, we have over 30 speakers that are going to come in and really pour into the women that are feeling called and drawn into this event. And if you haven't yet heard of it, for those that are tuning in or will catch this on replay, this is truly like your mid-year
Mhm.
realignment.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
I love that.
and it's that moment where for those that have kids in school, it's like you're at that stretch, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get a break with school. We're going to, then you get into summer, right? And all the different things. But it's almost like you have that little moment to say, where am I?
Hmm.
And the things that I set forth for myself this year. How am I doing in my health, right? How am I doing with wealth? Love. And that love is just relationships, self
Hmm.
love, and all that really translates to personal power. And so many of our speakers, their work is combined with personal power because when you have full control of your wealth, your area, it translates to personal power. Everything becomes personal power. So it's like, how how beautiful that we get to encompass all of this mid-year to say, hey, there's still half a year left for you to crush it in whatever areas that you have going on. And
Yeah,
so,
and I love the fact that you're doing all of these areas because I believe those areas affect your wealth. I believe that your physical health and your mental health and your relationships, they all correlate to the wealth. And so that was one of the things that drew me.
yes, and I love that you're going to be speaking about wealth and bringing in other components of it because I also believe that there are so many people out there, and we'll say women because this event is for women, but the material applies for anyone. So, but so many people don't realize that when you're out of alignment on any of these areas, it impacts the other. So if
Hmm.
your health is out of balance, it inadvertently impacts your relationships, your finances, and I mean there's other areas that it impacts, but for this event we're focusing on those because those are like the main ones that people hone in on, right? How are their relationships? How's
Hmm.
their health? You know, their finances, their wealth, because it all has to be somewhat balanced to be able to feel good and move towards the goals and desires that you have. And so for those that are tuning in, what can they expect from you during the week of Top 50 Voices of Influence?
Well, I'm part of the wealth that I'm doing, and it does have everything to do with money, is time wealth because so it's designing the money systems that support freedom because so often women want more time, right? And so one of the things that you can expect is going to be a simple three-step framework for designing money systems that buy back your freedom. That in that is going you're going to be able to find leaks that you wouldn't have thought about that were actually affecting you having this system and having more time to where you're still making the money, but you're not burning both ends of the candle.
Hmm. Okay, so I do want to ask you a question because I know you focus on helping entrepreneurs. What if I'm tuning in, I'm liking what you're saying, but I'm not an entrepreneur? Does that
That's
apply?
okay. Yeah, that's okay because it's going to apply to your life too. Yeah, my talk is around mostly around the entrepreneurs making the money. However, the concept still applies to individuals who maybe they're not looking at their personal finances the way that's actually aligned with their values and their goals and buying back their time. The system itself still works. I use it for my personal and my business. So it works for both concepts.
Yeah. Now, all of our speakers are coming in and they're pouring their wisdom, their thought leadership, their frameworks. There's so many different modalities, I'm going to say, in which they're going to pour into all our attendees. And I say it that way because people love to share their wisdom in different ways. And the other thing that our speakers are doing is they are all giving all of our attendees some incredible gifts. And I know you have some gifts that are very practical for people to use. So, for those that do sign up, what is the gift that they can expect from you?
Well, the gift for everybody is the Seven Money Pitfalls email series, and it walks you, it's an email a day, and it walks you through a pitfall that could be business or personal, so it can apply to both, that you may not see, and it gives you a step of like one step, two steps, three steps. It gives you steps that you can take to make sure that that pitfall is not no longer a pitfall. So there's a 7 days email series for them, and then for the VIP, it's a I call it the Transcendent Wealth Audit, and so it's a free audit of three key areas. They fill out a questionnaire, three key areas, and I do an audit on their money system, and I show them where we can plug leaks to help no longer have those.
I love it. So, if someone is tuning in and they're like, okay, plug leaks, what can a leak look like?
Um, Money leak can look, I mean, you can have a time leak. So the way I look at it is where your energy is being spent. If we're talking about a money leak, one of the money leaks I tell people is you could have subscriptions that you no longer remember that you signed up for. And so I tell people to, yes, I want you to kill some trees. I apologize in advance, but I want you to print it. I want you to print the statements. And they're like, why? And I was like, because it's eyes to paper. It's a different, I promise. It's hands and a highlighter, eyes to paper. Um, and what you're doing is you're looking at your bank statement to see what subscriptions you have, personal and business. I do it both. And a lot of times we end up having ones, oh, I forgot I signed up for that. Okay, well, if you forgot you signed up for it and you haven't used it in 6 months, you know, if you've got four of them and they're 15, 20, 25, $30 a month, it adds up.
Yeah.
And that's a leak. If you're using it, great. It's not considered a leak, right? But if you've forgotten, then that's a leak. Or how often you go out to eat and you're not looking at how often you go out to eat, right? And people are like, oh, well, I just go and get coffee $5, $10 here. Okay, well, how many days a week? Multiply that for the month. And they're like, oh,
And then the numbers start to add up, right? Then you can see the impact that it has.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing a little bit of that because I love for people to get an idea of our speakers that are coming in, and that's really like the concept of spotlighting, as many speakers as we can because we want you to get a feel for what you can expect. I mean, this is just a short conversation here,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
you're going to get, a full 25-minute series with Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to give you some great tools and just different ways for you to apply what you learned. So, the beautiful part about Top 50 Voices of Influence and Women in Alignment is that this is an event where you're not going to just come in and like tune in, like, okay, I'm just going to, see, get a little inspiration. It's you start off the moment you register by doing an alignment audit. And this is an alignment audit that I've put out there. And I
Nice.
love for people to start with that because it tells you exactly what areas of your life you're out of alignment in right now. And again, that can shift as you move. But the moment you sign up, you get access to that. You see that almost as like your guide for the week. So if your area that's out of alignment is wealth, then on Tuesday, which is when we're going to focus on wealth, that's the day you're going to want to tune in. That's the day you want to, look at our speakers and really focus on what it is that they're sharing and take advantage and utilize their tools because you're not coming for inspiration. You're coming to get practical tools and ways for you to shift your life for the remainder of the year. And so I want people to really see it that way as a week that is truly transformational when you allow it to be that way. And so I appreciate you, Lisa, coming in here for a few
Thank you.
minutes and
Absolutely.
sharing with our audiences, the work that you do, what led you to the work that you do, because to me, that's always very important. I always love to hear the stories of the women and what led them to the work they do, because that's where people really get to connect. That's where people are like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in that situation right now. And if she was able to move out of it, then I can do it as well.
Hmm.
That's the reason why I love to hear stories because they connect us. They connect us with our heart and with what it is that we're calling in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love sharing my story because so often a lot of women will think that me or some other women won't understand. And then when tell my story, they're like, oh, wait, you do understand. I'm like, yes, I promise. I'm not some big guru out there saying do this, do that, and not been at the bottom of the bottom. I've been there. I know what it's like. I've lived it. So I love sharing my story.
So, Lisa, just to kind of wrap up here quickly, what would you tell the woman who comes across, this event and is kind of feeling called to do it, but they're just like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this.
Honestly, I think it will save you time to do it in the long run versus not doing it because think about where you can be 6 months from now because you did it, because it's mid year. It's going to realign you. Us people in the South, our kids are already out of school. Our kids are done. And for the next 3 weeks, 3, 4 weeks, all the schools start, across the United States being out. And to be able to be realigned, whether you're a business owner or not, just be realigned of where you want to be and where you want to go in life, I think is really important. And this to me is just do it. Don't think twice more than twice about it. Just to me, it's a no brainer because it's going to be able to realign and my thought process is oh, this is mid year, so now think about where I can be 6 months from now. And I think that's a really cool thing.
It is, and thank you for being here and sharing that. Don't second guess yourself.
Mm-mm.
What I'm saying.
Don't if it's calling you, don't second guess yourself. I mean, so often we as women do, and there are a lot of good speakers They're going, I've seen them. I know there's some I'm going to want to listen to. So there's a lot of good speakers. Um, don't second guess yourself. Just book it, put it in your calendar, book the time. I consider it self care. That's what I'm calling it. It's going to be those are going to be my few self care days, um, and help me realign. So I just don't second guess it.
Yes, and just for everyone, the timing of it, we're in different time zones, we're in different parts of the world. Don't let that
Mhm.
hold you back. Register for the event, and you're going to get access to all the talks available. And like I said, you start with the alignment audit, and then you start by focusing in and zoning in that particular day or the specific women that are really calling you in. And so start there. You are going to hear from incredible leaders. You're going to receive powerful teachings, and you're going to walk away with more clarity around the needs,
Mhm.
um, the things that need your attention, I should say. What no longer feels aligned. And really, the beautiful thing is you're going to walk away with tangible things that are going to support your next step, your
Mhm.
next season and the remainder of the year. So we're going to put the link below so you can register for the event. Again, it is June 15th through the 19th. And then we get to have an after party, and it's going to be a good time. The other thing I do want to mention is we're going to have three connection mixers before the actual event where you actually get to come in once you register into a private Facebook group, and you're actually going to have that opportunity to meet some of the speakers and connect with them, ask them questions. And
I
so
love that.
this is before even the event, so you can, get to know them a little bit more. And so you're invited. It's not just for the speakers, but it's for anyone who registers in advance and, gets access to them as well. So thank you, Lisa, for being here, for sharing your wisdom with us. I can't wait to tune into your talk because I
Thank you.
know your talk combined with the tools that you're making available is really going to be the thing that is going to shift someone's, remainder of the year. Thank you
I
again.
love it. Thank you.
And again, for those that are tuning in, we're going to drop the link below. Sign up, and we can't wait to see you. Oh,
Yes, can't wait.
until next time, June 15th through the 19th, we'll see you there.